In the previous class. Realization account will be created in the books of transferor. All assets and liabilities information will be transferred. Purchase consideration will be transferred. Realization expenses will be transferred to the realization account. And in the realization account, we will calculate either profit or loss. When we will get the profit on realization, if our credits are more, we will get profit, which we will write it on the debit side. If our debits are more, we will get loss on realization. We will write it on the credit side. So we will create the realization account in the books of transferor. And when we are entering the journal entries in the books of transferee, in the second journal entry, when we are transfer assets and liabilities, we will get either goodwill or capital reserve. Now, if your debit amounts are more, you will get capital reserve, which we will write it on the credit column. And if your credit amounts are more, you will get goodwill, which we will write in the debit column. This is how we will calculate goodwill or capital reserve in the transferee books. When we are entering the journal entry, in the second journal entry, we can easily get this goodwill or capital reserve. Then the balance sheet preparation. If in case of three companies where two companies will liquidate themselves and a new company is formed, so the two old companies data you have to add to get your new company amounts. And in case of absorption, where one company will be taken over by the another company, in that case, you will take two companies' total amounts in the final balance sheet. Say, for example, you have A, B, C Limited. A and B are existing business and they want to start a new business called C Limited. Now, in this scenario, A Limited will close its operations, B Limited will close its operations. Both jointly, a new company, a new limited is formed, that is, C Limited will be formed as an organization. So, for C Limited, because it is a newly formed organization, the assets and liabilities will be A Limited assets and liabilities plus B Limited assets and liabilities is equal to your C Limited assets and liabilities. This is in case of the amalgamation. Now, in case of absorption, A Limited is there, B Limited is there. A Limited is taking over B Limited. That means A Limited is purchasing B Limited. Now, B Limited has to close its operations because B is the selling company. Now, after it sells its assets and liabilities, it will close its operations. Now, with A company, along with A company's assets and liabilities, B company's assets and liabilities are also with A company. So, A company's balance sheet, we need to take all the assets and liabilities, combination of A plus B. There won't be any B company because B has sold its assets and liabilities to the A Limited. So, this is in case of the absorption. Now, in the previous class, we have seen the purchase consideration calculation using net assets as well as using share exchange method, and journal entries in the books of transferor as well as transferee, that is purchasing company as well as selling company. Then realization account preparation, where we will get profit or profit on realization or loss on realization. And then we have seen general reserve calculation and the balance sheet preparation. So with that, the amalgamation and absorption concepts are completed. Now let us see reconstruction. Now reconstruction, just a minute, let me share you the screen. Yes, I hope the screen is visible to you all. Right, reconstruction. Reconstruction, we have internal reconstruction as well as external reconstruction. Now, let us understand the concept clearly, reconstruction. Now, reconstruction means it is an arrangement made by the companies whereby the claims of the shareholders, debenture holders, creditors, and other liabilities are altered, reduced so that accumulated losses are written off, assets are valued at its paid value, and the balance sheet shows the true and paid view of the financial statements. It is basically the shareholders, that is the equity shareholders and the preference shareholders, debenture holders, creditors, and other liabilities, their amounts will be altered, will be changed. It will be usually reduced. When we say altered, there is no increment as such, it is reduction only. It is reduced in order to meet the accumulated losses or written off assets valued as its fair value. So if any changes that occurs on the asset side of the balance sheet, the same changes must be made on the liability side. Now, liability side, how the changes will be made with the help of this reconstruction. With the help of reconstruction, the liabilities, the claims of shareholders, equity or preference, debenture holders, or the creditors, or any other liabilities like bank overdraft kind of a thing, will be reduced in order to set off the balance sheet, in order to show the balanced value of assets as well as liabilities in the financial statement to have a clear cut view of fair and fair and true view of values that we show in the balance sheet. To have that fair view, we have to make some changes in the liabilities, that is shareholders, debentures, and creditors or any other liabilities. This changes of the claims of these particular parties, we call it as reconstruction. Now, forms of reconstruction, we have reorganization or alteration of the share capital. By altering, by changing the share capital, we can say it as a reorganization, or by reducing the share capital and other liabilities. Along with the share capitals, we can change other liabilities also. That we call it as internal reconstruction, because within the organization, we are changing its capital or any other liabilities which is confined to only internal parties, that is called as internal reconstruction. Now, why the company go with the internal reconstruction? To solve the problem of overcapitalization. Sometimes it so happens that the capital may be overly accumulated in the organization, or if you have any huge accumulated losses or overvaluation of the assets. If we are showing anything more than the value, then we have to go with the internal reconstruction, because internal reconstructions will help us in solving the problems of overcapitalization or overvaluation of the assets. Then, when the capital structure of the company is complex and it is required to make it simple, if the organizational capital structure, that is the share capital or debentures or creditors, any other liabilities, if the structure is difficult, structure is complex in nature, to make it simple, to understandable by the every person, to make it simple, internal reconstruction is used to make the simple view of the capital structure by breaking down it into several categories. When changes is required in the face value of the shares of the company, in the shares of the in the share capital, when we write it in the balance sheet, if the face value need to be changed, automatically it leads to internal reconstruction. The face value may be 100 rupees, now they want to change it to 90 rupees. This also comes under the internal reconstruction. Now, the meaning of capital reduction, it involves, because internal reconstruction, we are talking about reducing the capital. So it involves sacrifice of the part of the shareholders. Shareholders have to sacrifice their part because capital must be reduced. Debenture holders and creditors also have to sacrifice some part because their capital is going to be reduced. The amount of sacrificed by them shall be utilized in writing off the losses and to bring down the assets to their real values. Now, after to whom they are sacrificing? They are sacrificing just to write off our losses, to reduce our losses, to have a balance between the assets and the liabilities. These values have been reduced. An account called capital reduction is also called as internal reconstruction or capital reorganization account is opened for this purpose. Now, internal reconstruction, like in amalgamation and absorption, we have created a realization account. Same way, in case of reconstruction, capital reduction account or internal reconstruction account or capital reorganization account will be prepared. Now, when we see the differences between internal reconstruction and the external reconstruction, internal reconstruction refers to the method of corporate restructuring wherein existing company is not liquidated to form a new company. Now, internal reconstruction means internally the capital or the liabilities will be reduced, but nowhere we are selling anything and we are constituting a new company. We are not generating a new company, establishing a new company. The old one is as it is, but internally we are making some changes in the capital. Whereas external reconstruction is one which the company undergo reconstruction is liquidated to take over business of an existing new company. Now, in case of external reconstruction, because it is outside the organization, now what they will do is in external reconstruction is one which the company is undergoing reconstruction. The company which is undergoing to the reconstruction అంటే ఏదైతే చేంజ్ చేయాలి అని అనుకుంటుందో ఆ కంపెనీ లిక్విడేట్ టు టేక్ ఓవర్ ద బిజినెస్ ఆఫ్ అ న్యూ కంపెనీ. అది లిక్విడేట్ అయిపోతుంది, అది క్లోజ్ అయిపోయి ఒక న్యూ కంపెనీని తీసుకోవడం జరుగుతుంది. Internal reconstruction లో there is no formation of new company, whereas external reconstruction, because it is outside the organization, a new company will be formed. Internal reconstruction, as I explained you, no new company is formed, whereas in external reconstruction, new company is formed. Internal reconstruction, balance sheet of the company contains and reduced. Whereas external reconstruction, no specific terms are used in the balance sheet. అంటే మనం ఇంటర్నల్ రికన్స్ట్రక్షన్ లో మనం బ్యాలెన్స్ షీట్ లోనే చేంజెస్ చేస్తాం కాబట్టి ఇది రెడ్యూస్డ్ వాల్యూ అనేది మనం క్లియర్ గా చూపిస్తాం ఇంటర్నల్ రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ అయినప్పుడు. ఎక్స్టర్నల్ రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ లో మనం స్పెసిఫిక్ గా ఏ టర్మ్ యూజ్ చేయం. ఎందుకు అని అంటే ఒక న్యూ కంపెనీ ఫామ్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి వీ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ టు మెన్షన్ ఎనీథింగ్ ఇన్ ద బ్యాలెన్స్ షీట్. Internal reconstruction, capital is reduced and the external liability holders waive their claims. Internal reconstruction లో capital alter అవుతుంది, change అవుతుంది. Change in the sense it will be reduced. There is no increment, it is reduced. Whereas external reconstruction, capital reduction అనేది కాన్సెప్టే కాదు. ఎందుకనంటే ఇక్కడ అవుట్సైడ్ ది ఆర్గనైజేషన్ జరుగుతుంది కాబట్టి ఒక న్యూ కంపెనీ ఫామ్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ మనకి క్యాపిటల్ అనేది రిడక్షన్ అవ్వదు. Internal reconstruction, no transfer takes place. Here in internal reconstruction, we are not transferring our assets and liabilities to any other company, any other person. Whereas in external reconstruction, assets and liabilities of existing company are transferred to the new company. New company form అవుతుంది కాబట్టి ఆల్రెడీ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ కంపెనీ అసెట్స్ అండ్ లైబిలిటీస్ ఏవైతే ఉంటాయో అవి ఖచ్చితంగా వాళ్ళు న్యూ కంపెనీకి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. Internal reconstruction, approval of the court is must. ఇంటర్నల్ రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ బోర్డ్ ఆఫ్ డైరెక్టర్స్ తోనో మేనేజింగ్ డైరెక్టర్స్ తోనో వాళ్ళు డిసైడ్ అయి చేయడానికి ఉండదు. ఇఫ్ ద కంపెనీ డిసైడ్స్ దట్ దే వాంట్ టు రెడ్యూస్ దేర్ క్యాపిటల్, దే వాంట్ టు ఆల్టర్ దేర్ క్యాపిటల్, దే హ్యావ్ టు గో విత్ court order. They need to get permission from the court, then only they can go with the internal reconstruction. Whereas for external reconstruction, court approval is not required because it is starting with a new company. Court will not involved into the closing of an existing company and opening a new company. Court will never interfere in such matters. Hence, court approval is not required in the external reconstruction, whereas court approval is must in case of the internal reconstruction. I hope the concept is clear to you all. This is with regarding to the reconstruction. Now, in your syllabus, you have external reconstruction as well as internal reconstruction. Okay. Now, let us see a problem that is based on the external reconstruction. In page number, in your textbook, page number 180. Page number 180, 179, you have Unit 8 reconstruction. In this, You have page number 180, 8.3, illustrative problems on external reconstruction. So now I will explain you this external reconstruction problem. Given below the balance sheet of Banwar Limited as on 31st March 2018, Banwar Limited balance sheet is given. If you see, liabilities are given and assets information is given. The following scheme of reconstruction was made. And the company decided that they are going with the reconstruction. The company is going to liquidation and a new company, Bhavya Limited, is with an authorized capital to be formed to take over the assets and liabilities. Now here if you see, a new company is formed. In which scenario the new company is formed? External or internal? In case of external, a new company is formed. Hence it is a problem of external reconstruction. అంటే మనకి ప్రాబ్లంలో ఎక్కడ కూడా ఇది ఎక్స్టర్నల్ రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఇంటర్నల్ రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ అని ఇవ్వరు. Looking at the information that is given to you in the question, you have to analyze whether it comes under internal or external. Because a new company is formed here, it comes under external reconstruction. Now, external reconstruction, pre-creditors 1 lakh include the creditors to be fully paid they have given, creditors the amount they have given, unsecured creditors amount is given, debentures amount is given, shareholders in Banwar Limited is allotted are shares in the Bhavya Limited of 100 each, and reconstruction cost to be paid by Banwar Limited from cash made available by Bhavya Limited. Now, if you see all the information with related to the external reconstruction that is given to us. Now, first, we will calculate the purchase consideration. Now, even in the external reconstruction, it is a concept of the same amalgamation or absorption. Hence, here we have to calculate the purchase consideration. Now, purchase consideration, on what basis we are going to calculate? Purchase consideration, we are going to calculate based on share exchange method, because here clearly they have mentioned that shareholders in fourth adjustments lo fourth point చూడండి. Shareholders in Banwar Limited to be allotted are shares in Bhavya Limited. So ఇక్కడ shares వాళ్ళు exchange చేసుకుంటున్నారు Banwar to Bhavya. So hence it is a share exchange method. Now payment to preference creditors. Preferential creditors or pre-creditors అని అన్నారు కదా, preferential creditors 1 lakh. So 1 lakh they are paying in full cash. Then payment to unsecured creditors. Unsecured creditors will receive either 50% of the claim in cash, 50% of the claim in cash and అన్నారు. So 30 lakhs. 30 lakhs if you see question లో creditors ఇచ్చారు మనకి liability side. Creditors is 30 lakhs. From the 30 lakhs minus the above preferential creditors 1 lakh already మనం తీసుకున్నాం కాబట్టి minus 1 lakh చేస్తే 29 lakhs. 29 lakhs into 50% into 1/2 we are taking. That is 50%. That is 7,25,000 in the form of cash. Then 50% of the creditors, 30 lakhs minus 1 lakh into 50%, that is 14 lakhs 50,000. Clear, understood? That is for preference creditors and the unsecured creditors. మనకి preference creditors వచ్చేసి 29 lakhs ఉన్నారు. Total creditors వచ్చేసి 30 lakhs ఉన్నారు. So same amount we have taken here. Then payment to shareholders. Shareholders ki manam how many shares we are paying? Shareholders in Banwar Limited are to be allotted the shares in the Bhavya Limited. So total మన దగ్గర 40,000 shares ఉన్నాయి. In the balance sheet they have given 40,000 into 100 each 4 lakhs to be paid up as 50 each now. అంటే 100 rupees share value ని ఇప్పుడు మనం 50 rupees కే ఇవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది. So hence 40,000 into 50 will comes to 20 lakhs in the form of shares. Then payment towards reconstruction expenses ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి అవకు 60,000 you have to take. So total purchase consideration comes to 43 lakhs 35,000. This is how we calculate the purchase consideration. Preference creditors is 1 lakh. Then unsecured creditors is 7,25,000. Debentures is 14 lakhs 50,000. Shareholders equity share capital anandi meeru share capital anandi 20 lakhs, and reconstruction expenses is 60,000. So total purchase consideration is 43 lakhs 35,000. Then Now from that, we need to calculate, we need to see how many assets are there which we can deduct it. So purchase consideration is 43 lakhs 35,000 less book value of the assets. Book value of the assets we are taking except of land and buildings. Plant and machinery is 13 lakhs, stock 7 lakhs, debtors 12 lakhs, cash 5,000. Total value we have taken that comes to your 11 lakhs 30,000. That is your actual value of land and buildings. Then realization account, if you see realization account on the, always remember realization account lo debit side lo we will take assets, realization expenses. Credit side lo we will take liabilities to outsiders and purchase consideration. So we put credit side lo by Bhavya Limited purchase consideration 43 lakhs 35,000. By creditors 7 lakhs 25,000. By equity shareholders 14 lakhs 5,000. ఇది మనకి బ్యాలెన్స్ వచ్చిన అమౌంట్ అమ్మా. On the debit side, we have two land and buildings, 32 land and buildings, 32 lakhs, two plant and machinery, 13 lakhs, stock 7, debtors 12 lakhs, cash 5,000, two cash. Last law only two cash, that is realization expenses, or you can call it as reconstruction expenses. So reconstruction expenses is 60,000. Once you add all this amount, you will debit amount, you will get 64 lakhs 65,000. ఇక్కడ మనకి డెబిట్ ఎక్కువ ఉంది కాబట్టి లాస్ వచ్చింది. సో లాస్ మనం క్రెడిట్ సైడ్ లో రాస్తాం. As by equity shareholders, loss 14 lakhs 5,000. Then equity shareholders account, preliminary expenses. ఏవైతే బ్యాలెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ది అసెట్స్ ఉన్నాయో అవి మొత్తం మనం ఈక్విటీ షేర్ హోల్డర్స్ కి ఇచ్చేస్తున్నాం. So preliminary expenses, asset side lo manakundi 50,000. Then profit and loss account 5 lakhs 45,000. We also got loss in the realization account, that is 14 lakhs 5,000. And shares in the Bhavya Limited. Bhavya Limited lo manaki purchase consideration lo shares 20 lakhs unnai. So total if you do is add it, you will get share capital as 40 lakhs. And ఇప్పుడు మనం balance sheet లో 40 lakhs చూపించాలి. By equity share capital 40 lakhs. Your balance sheet, your shareholders funds will get tallied. షేర్ హోల్డర్స్ అకౌంట్ ఎప్పుడు మనకి టాలీ అయిపోయి ఉండాలి. దెన్ క్రెడిటార్స్ టోటల్ బ్యాలెన్స్ వచ్చేసి 30 lakhs. 30 lakhs లో మనకి ప్రిఫరెన్షియల్ క్రెడిటార్స్ కి 1 lakh ఇచ్చాము. క్యాష్ పేమెంట్ లో అన్సెక్యూర్డ్ క్రెడిటార్స్ కి 7 lakhs 25,000. యూ కెన్ సీ ద పర్చేస్ కన్సిడరేషన్ వాల్యూ. దెన్ డిబెంచర్స్ రూపంలో 14 lakhs 50 ఇచ్చాము. దెన్ రియలైజేషన్ అకౌంట్ ప్రాఫిట్ ఆన్ క్రెడిటార్స్, ఎందుకంటే 30 lakhs లో మనం 1 lakh 7 lakhs 25,000 14 lakhs 50,000 ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత కూడా స్టిల్ వీ హ్యావ్ ప్రాఫిట్ ఆన్ క్రెడిటార్స్ 7 lakhs 25,000. దట్ ఈస్ ద బ్యాలెన్స్ షీట్ ఫిగర్. Now if you see the journal entries in the books of Bhavya Limited. Who is Bhavya here? Bhavya is the purchaser, the new company. So land and buildings 11 lakhs 30,000, plant and machinery, stock, debtors, cash value మనం as it is తీసుకుంటాం. Two liquidator of Banwar Limited, ఇది మనకి purchase consideration 43 lakhs 35,000. This is your purchase consideration. Then we don't have any leftover amounts. Then cash account debtor is your 20 lakhs, that is equity share capital, which we are giving in the form of equity share capital. Then liquidator of Banwar Limited purchase consideration 43 lakhs 35,000. Two cash balance, two equity share capital 20 lakhs లో ఇస్తున్నాము, debentures 14 lakhs 50,000 లో ఇస్తున్నాము. సో బ్యాలెన్స్ మనకి 8 lakhs 85,000 వస్తుంది. అంటే 43 35 minus 20 minus 1450, if you do, you will get 885. This is your journal entries we will enter in the books of Bhavya Limited, Bhavya company. Then cash account, if you see, cash account liquidator of Banwar Limited already మనకి ఓపెనింగ్ బ్యాలెన్స్ 5,000 ఉంది. తర్వాత ఈక్విటీ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్, మనం షేర్ క్యాపిటల్ లో ఇచ్చేది కూడా 20 lakhs 5,000. దెన్ లిక్విడేటర్ ఆఫ్ బన్వర్ లిమిటెడ్ మనకి బ్యాలెన్స్ షీట్ జర్నల్ ఎంట్రీస్ లో ఒక క్యాష్ బ్యాలెన్స్ 8 lakhs 85,000. అదే మనం బ్యాలెన్స్ ఆఫ్ పర్చేస్ కన్సిడరేషన్ ఇస్తుంది 8 lakhs 85,000, దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్. దెన్ బై బ్యాలెన్స్ క్యారీడ్ ఆన్ 11 lakhs 20,000. Now if you see the balance sheet మనకు భవ్య లిమిటెడ్ ది ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తాం, బికాస్ ఈ టైం కి బన్వర్ లిమిటెడ్ అనే కంపెనీ లేదు. బన్వర్ ని we have converted it into భవ్య. So assets, if you see, we have taken all assets. Cash, if you see, 11 lakhs 20,000 మనకు అది క్యాష్ అకౌంట్ లో బ్యాలెన్స్ వచ్చింది 11 lakhs 20,000. Liabilities, all liabilities, if you can see, all liabilities we have taken. Authorized share capital 80 lakhs. We will just show the authorized share capital, but we will not add the authorized share capital to the share capital or the creditors. Then issued share capital manaki 40 lakhs ఉంటుంది 40 lakhs. Debentures 14 lakhs 50,000. If you add both the sides, your balance sheet will get tallied. This is how you will prepare the reconstruction, external reconstruction. Now, as I told you, external reconstruction is almost similar to your absorption or the amalgamation. The only thing is we never use the word transferor, transferee అన్న words ఇక్కడ మనం use చేయము. That is the only difference. So that is how we will prepare the accounts in case of the external reconstruction. Now next, when it comes to internal reconstruction, earlier reduction of share capital was governed by Section 100 of Companies Act 1956. As per the old act, subject to the confirmation of the court, a company limited by shares of a company limited by guarantee and having share capital may, if authorized by its article. Previously, in order to have an internal reconstruction, companies you have gone through with the Section 100 of the Companies Act 1956. But now, after the new Companies Act 2013 came into existence, now we just like that cannot go for the internal reconstruction. It has been transferred to National Company Law Tribunal, NCLT. So the reduction of capital to be approved by the special resolution and confirmed by the tribunal under Section 66 of I. So if any company, they want to go with the internal reconstruction, that they want to reduce their capital, they have to get permission, they have to get approval from the National Company Law Tribunal, NCLT, then only they can go with the alteration of the capital, that is changes that we can make in the capital. We call it as internal reconstruction. Now, accounting treatment of internal reconstruction. The journal entries which we can see in the internal reconstruction, that is in your page number 184. Page number 184. For reducing the capital, because internal reconstruction is all about reduction of the capital. Here we are not going with a new company. In the same company, in the existing company, within the company, we are changing the capital. That's it. So for reducing the capital, equity share capital or preference share capital account data to capital reduction to reconstruction account. How much amount we have reduced and what is the total amount we have reduced. So that we have to write it in. First journal entry is for capital reduction. When the face value of the share is changed or the rate of the dividend or preference is changed, the whole of the old capital should be cancelled and a new capital should be issued. When the changes are taking place, old capital will be cancelled and new capital will be issued. Hence, equity or preference share capital account data to equity preference account or to capital redemption account. The difference value we have to take for the capital reduction. If creditors and debenture holders are making any sacrifice, then creditors account data, debentures account data to capital reduction account you have to take. And if any asset value appreciates, if sometimes it so happens that if the asset value is appreciated, asset account data to capital reduction account. Then when the amount of capital reduction is utilized for the writing of the fictitious asset, ఏదైతే capital reduce చేసిన amount ఉంటుందో అది మనం ఏ assets ని set off చేయడానికి యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాము. So that reduction account, reconstruction account or capital reduction account data to profit and loss account, preliminary expenses, discount on debentures, discount on shares, or any decreased value of the asset or any capital reserve. So these are the common journal entries which we will follow in case of internal reconstruction. Let me share a screen with regarding to the internal reconstruction. I hope the screen is visible to you all. Right. Let us see a problem on internal reconstruction. The following data are extracted from notes accounts of balance sheet of A Limited as at 31st March 2021. Liabilities and equity information is given, assets information is given to us. The company adopted the following scheme of reconstruction. Now here, when they mention scheme of reconstruction and nowhere they have mentioned that a new company is formed, hence it comes under internal reconstruction. అంటే ఇంటర్నల్ గానే వాళ్ళు చేంజెస్ చేశారు కాబట్టి దీన్ని scheme of reconstruction అని అంటారు. First one is the tangible assets are eliminated. Tangible assets ni eliminate చేస్తున్నారు. They are excluding them. Expenses for reconstruction. Reconstruction expenses 2000. Machinery is to be depreciated. Value of buildings is increased. Increased అని అంటే మనకి ఇక్కడ appreciate అయ్యింది అని అర్థం. Then the debenture holders took over the stock and debtors in full satisfaction of their claims. And the preferential shares are reduced 75 per share fully paid and equity shares 40 per share. So if you see here, preference shares reduce అయ్యాయి, equity shares reduce అయ్యాయి. Okay. Preference shares per share value వచ్చేసి 100. ఈక్విటీ షేర్స్ కూడా పర్ షేర్ వాల్యూ వచ్చేసి 100. కానీ ఇప్పుడు మనకు రిడక్షన్ లో ప్రిఫరెన్స్ వచ్చేసి 75 కి రెడ్యూస్ అయింది, ఈక్విటీ వచ్చేసి 40 కి రెడ్యూస్ అయింది. Now we will see the journal entry. Now first journal entry, preference shares చూద్దాం మనం. 6% preference shares of 100 each. So preferential share capital account data. Balance sheet లో మనకి preferential share capital 2 lakhs ఉంది. So as it is 2 lakhs మనం తీసుకుంటున్నాం. So preferential share capital, old share capital account data are 2 new share capital 2 reconstruction account. దీన్నే మనం capital reduction అని కూడా అంటాం. So 6% preference share as it is గా తీసుకున్నాం అంటే 2000 into 100 అని. న్యూకి వచ్చేసరికి అది ఎంతకి రెడ్యూస్ అయింది, 75 కి రెడ్యూస్ అయింది. సో 2000 into 75 is 1,50,000. సో 2 lakhs ఉండాల్సింది ఇప్పుడు 1,50,000 ఉంది. ఎంత రెడ్యూస్ అయింది, 50,000. సో 50,000 షుడ్ బి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ టు capital reduction account or reconstruction account. This is your preferential shares. Simple. Old share capital to new share capital to difference between old and new is reconstruction account. సేమ్ ఈక్విటీ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్ కూడా అంతే. ఈక్విటీ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్ మనకి ఇక్కడ 4 lakhs ఉంది, 100 rupees ఈచ్ అన్నాడు. ఓకే, సో 4,000 ఈక్విటీ షేర్స్ ఆఫ్ 100 ఈచ్ 4 lakhs. సేమ్ 4,000 ఈక్విటీ షేర్స్ ఆఫ్ 100 ఈచ్. సో ఈక్విటీ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్ అకౌంట్ డేటా 4 lakhs. ఇది మనకి ఓల్డ్ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్. న్యూ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్ మనకి ఎంతకు రెడ్యూస్ అయింది, 40 rupees కి రెడ్యూస్ అవుతుంది. సో 4,000 into 40. సో 2 new share capital 1,60,000. ఎంత డిఫరెన్స్ ఉంది, 4 lakhs minus 1,60,000, 2,40,000. You have to take it to the reconstruction account. సో ఇవి మనకి డిఫరెన్స్ చేంజ్ అయ్యాయి, ఆల్టర్ అయ్యాయి, ప్రిఫరెన్స్ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ ఈక్విటీ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్. Then here in the 5th point they have mentioned that debenture holders took over the stock and debtors in full satisfaction. So debenture holders stock and debtors complete గా తీసుకున్నారు. యాక్చువల్ డిబెంచర్స్ వాల్యూ ఎంత ఉంది మనకి, డిబెంచర్స్ ఆర్ 1 lakh. సారీ, ఇది అప్ అండ్ డౌన్ ఉందమ్మా, కొంచెం చూడండి. డిబెంచర్స్ ఈజ్ 1 lakh, లోన్ ఈజ్ 50,000, క్రెడిటార్స్ ఈజ్ 1 lakh. సో డిబెంచర్స్ మనకి 1 lakh. సో 5% డిబెంచర్స్ అకౌంట్ డెట్ ఆర్ 1 lakh. 2 స్టాక్ ఆల్రెడీ మనకి అసెట్స్ లో ఉంది. స్టాక్ ఈజ్ 50,000, డెటార్స్ ఈజ్ 40,000. సో 2 స్టాక్ అకౌంట్ 50,000, 2 debtors account 40,000. 1 lakh minus 50 minus 40, if you do 10,000, that is your reconstruction. Differences ఎప్పుడు మనకి రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ అకౌంట్ కి లేదా క్యాపిటల్ రిడక్షన్ అకౌంట్ కి మనం ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. సో 2 రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ అకౌంట్. దెన్ బిల్డింగ్స్ మనకి అప్రిషియేట్ అయ్యింది. Here if you see the value of the buildings is increased by 50,000. ఎప్పుడైనా సరే అసెట్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయింది అని అంటే అసెట్ అకౌంట్ డేటా టు రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్, అసెట్ డిక్రీజ్ అయితే రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ టు అసెట్ రివర్స్ అవుతుంది. సో ఇక్కడ మనకి బిల్డింగ్స్ అసెట్ వాల్యూ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయింది కాబట్టి బిల్డింగ్స్ అకౌంట్ డేటా టు రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ 50,000. నౌ ఇప్పుడు టోటల్ రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ చూడండి ఇక్కడ, ఫ్రమ్ ఫస్ట్ జర్నల్ ఎంట్రీ టు రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ 5,000, to reconstruction 2,40,000, 2,40,000 plus 5,000, 2,45,000. 2 reconstruction 10,000, 2,55,000. 2 reconstruction 50,000, 3,50,000. సో టోటల్ మనకి 3,50,000 రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఉంది. ఇది ఇప్పుడు మనం దేనికి యూజ్ చేస్తాము అని అంటే లాస్ ని రైట్ ఆఫ్ చేయడానికి. సో లాస్ ని రైట్ ఆఫ్ చేయడానికి మనం ఏదేది యూజ్ చేస్తాము అని అంటే ఒకటి స్టేట్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాఫిట్ అండ్ లాస్ అకౌంట్ అని ఉంది. ఇది మనకి 2,20,000. సో 2,20,000 ప్లాంట్ అండ్ మెషినరీ రెడ్యూస్ అయింది కాబట్టి 1,20,000, గుడ్ విల్ 20,000, క్యాపిటల్ రిజర్వ్ బ్యాలెన్సింగ్ ఫిగర్ మనకు వచ్చింది 8,000. This is how we will enter the journal entries for the internal reconstruction. రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ అకౌంట్ మనం ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తే ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఈజీ. ఇక్కడ ఏదైతే జర్నల్ ఎంట్రీస్ లో మనకి రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఉందో అవి ఆ వాల్యూస్ అన్ని తీసుకొని వచ్చి మనం సబ్సిడరీ బుక్ ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తాం. హియర్ యూ హ్యావ్ 2 reconstruction 5,000. So here you have to take by preference share capital 50,000, by equity share capital 2,40,000, by debentures 10,000, by billings 50,000. 2 bank, 2 statement profit and loss account, 2 plant and machinery, 2 goodwill, 2 reserve. ఈ రిజర్వ్ అనేది మనకి బ్యాలెన్స్ వచ్చిన ఫిగర్ అమ్మ. This is the balancing figure. This is how we will prepare the reconstruction account. And when you see the balance sheet లో మనకి షేర్ క్యాపిటల్ 31,000, రిజర్వ్స్ అండ్ సర్ప్లస్ 8,000. మనకి ఇక్కడ క్యాపిటల్ రిజర్వ్ వచ్చింది కదా 8,000, అదే 8,000 ఇక్కడ తీసుకున్నాము. నెక్స్ట్ బ్యాంక్ లోన్ వీ హ్యావ్ 50,000. క్రెడిటార్స్ వీ హ్యావ్ 1 lakh యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్. క్రెడిటార్స్ ని మనం ఇక్కడ టచ్ చేయలేదు. అసెట్స్ కి వచ్చేసరికి ఫిక్స్డ్ అసెట్స్ టాంజిబుల్ 4,50,000. ఇంటాంజిబుల్ అసెట్స్ ని మనకి ఎలిమినేట్ చేయమని ఫస్ట్ పాయింట్ లో ఇచ్చాడు కాబట్టి వీఆర్ నాట్ టేకింగ్ ఇంటాంజిబుల్ అసెట్స్. Then tangible assets 4,50,000, current assets cash and equivalents 18,000. So that is your assets and liabilities which comes to 4,68,000. This is your balance sheet. This is how we prepare the journal entries and balance sheet in the books of the concerned company when it comes to the internal reconstruction. These are the problems which you can see in the internal reconstruction as well as in the external reconstruction. This is the concept which you have in internal and external reconstruction. I hope the concept is very much clear. In block 3, you have amalgamation, absorption, and reconstruction. In amalgamation, in the previous classes, we have seen amalgamation in the nature of merger, amalgamation in the nature of purchase, and amalgamation, the accounting treatment by the way of pooling of interest method and by the way of purchase method. We have seen the problems with regarding to calculation of purchase consideration using net assets method as well as share exchange method. Journal entries in the books of transferor as well as transferee. Preparation of realization account, calculation of goodwill or capital reserve, and the balance sheet preparation. The concept is going to be similar in case of amalgamation, absorption. Now in the reconstruction, we have 2 types of reconstruction: internal reconstruction, external reconstruction. In internal reconstruction, we don't go with a new company. In the same existing company, we make changes in the capital. We reduce the capital. Hence, we create a capital reduction account in the internal reconstruction. Now, why we will reduce the capital? In order to write off the accumulated losses or any value of the assets which is increased. To have a balance between the assets and liabilities in the balance sheet, we go with the internal reconstruction. Whereas external reconstruction, it is opposite to your internal reconstruction and which is similar to your absorption. Where in external reconstruction, existing company will wind up, will liquidate its operations, will close its operation, a new company will be taken over, a new company will be formed. That is your external reconstruction. Again, in the external reconstruction, you have to go through with the same concept how we have seen in the absorption, where you have to calculate purchase consideration, enter the journal entries, then prepare the balance sheet. So this is how we will prepare the books of accounts in case of the internal as well as external reconstruction. With this, the block 3 amalgamation, absorption and reconstruction is completed. I hope the concept is very much clear to you all. In the next classes, we will discuss we will start with bank accounts, that is block 4. You have bank accounts 1 and bank accounts 2. In the next class, I'll explain you clearly with regarding to this bank accounts 1 and bank accounts 2, that is block 3. Sorry, block 4. So till now, till today, we have completed block 1, accounting for share capital, that is issue of shares, acquisition of business, profits prior to incorporation, issue and redemption of debentures. This is your block 1, which is completed along with the problems. Block 2, company final accounts. You have company final accounts 1, company final accounts 2, preparation of statement of profit and loss account and balance sheet. The both I have explained you with the problems. So block 2 is also completed. Then block 3, you have amalgamation, absorption and reconstruction. In the previous classes, I have explained you the theory concept as well as how we will do the problems in case of amalgamation, absorption and reconstruction. In the today's class, I have explained you clearly what is reconstruction, what is internal reconstruction, external reconstruction, how we will prepare books of accounts in case of the internal as well as external reconstruction. So block 3, block 1, 2 and 3 are completed, ma. In the next class, I'll start with block 4, bank accounts 1 and bank accounts 2. I hope the concept is cleared up to the date. Have a nice day. We'll meet again in the next class. Thank you.